take notes because it's going to be a cracker of a session. No pressure, Sam. We are very blessed to be joined by the lovely Samantha Muller with us today, and we are talking about getting our 2023 strategy in some kind of order. I like to talk about, herding cats, and that's how it feels for me, certainly coming into the end of the year. There's still so many loose ends to tie up, and people are talking about 2023, and my mind's still going, can I just make it to Friday? So if you've been feeling like that, you're in the right room. Now, the session is recorded. You're going to need to give me a few days, but it will come out, I promise you. This has been a great turnout we've had for this session. So obviously a lot of people are interested in getting some kind of a strategy in place for 2023. Our event calendar is currently being planned for the next year. So stay tuned, whether you are dialing in from the Cairns region or my region, which is Ipswich, or from anywhere else around Australia. I know we've got a lot of people that follow us from Tassie and Adelaide and NT as well. So just stay up to date with what's going on our website, and you'll see the new events start to trickle in over the next few weeks. And we'd love to see you for a few more events next year. Now, before I forget, I am going to do a screenshot of everybody on the call so I can add this to our Facebook this afternoon. So on the count of three, if everybody stares down the camera and do that, Sam. That's awesome. All right. 1, 2, 3. Done. Thank you. All right. With that being said, I am going to hand over to Sam. I'm not even going to try and introduce this amazing lady because the resume is way too long. There's too many accolades to go through. So I'm going to leave Sam to do it. I'll keep an eye on the chat box. Sam is very interactive, and we are in a workshop situation. So if you do want to unmute and ask questions, just kind of go with what needs to happen for you. But I'll also keep an eye on the chat as well. And I'll be back when Sam wraps up to have a bit of a discussion about what we're all thinking. So with that, Sam, all yours.
Good morning, everybody. Do beautiful smiley faces so I can see you all. And I know you're hearing me. Fantastic. Awesome. Great. Okay, so I'm going to go pretty fast and furious, but I also do a bit of an introduction. Suffice to say, I've worked for a really long period of time with amazing entrepreneurs. It's been a privilege and an honour, and I've learned a few things along the way. And so I'm going to share some stories with you as I go through, pretty much to help you develop a 10-point plan. I definitely want to say immediately that you need a pen and you need a piece of paper, because if you want to get a return on this 1 hour, and we multiply it by the number of people who are here sitting in the room, it's a lot of time to invest. And I kind of stopped doing workshops for a wee while because people would get all inspired and then go away and then do precisely nothing with the information. So where we're at is, I hope at the end of this, you will have at least 10 kind of core steps as a takeaway from the hour that you invest today. So if we look for next year, 2023, people will often start by saying something like to me, what do you predict, Sam? Is it going to be a boom? Is it bust? Is business going to be really busy? Is it going to be quiet? Are there going to be new markets? And the answer is, well, all of those things, depending upon who you are, what you sell, and who your customers are. So I'm currently working with a manufacturing business, and they have never done better than they did in the 2 years from COVID. So it doesn't really matter what's going on around you. It's really about what you're ready, the opportunities you're ready to capitalize on. So let's get going. Got your pen and paper? Nod for me if you do. Oh, well done, Trace, showing me. I love it. I would divide this into 10. So grab a piece of paper, split it down the middle, get 5 kind of rows on both sides. So you've got 10 little spaces. And I'm going to talk non-traditionally. I'm not going to talk about your financial plan and your marketing plan and your action plan. I'm not using any of that language because I don't believe in it. I just want to kind of go, what are the 10 kind of things that I think that you should really seriously focus on? And the number one thing is this. The very first person that someone fibs to is themselves. And this is particularly true of potentially lots of business owners. They don't do it in a nasty way or a negative way, but they'll often say, gosh, I just can't work out what's going on. The food is so great here in my restaurant. I don't know why I haven't got any customers. They might say, oh, we've had a downturn in business because there's the major shop down the road closed and that's what's impacting us. And you go, yeah, but the major shop's been open for 6 months and the impact was happening before that. So the first thing I want to actually ask you is, what is your truth? So up in your first box, write the truth. And my question is, what do you know about your business? What do you know to be true? Is it booming? You can answer these questions to yourself on the piece of paper. Is it booming? Do you have good profitability? Are you seeing the same customers over and over again? Are they coming back to you? Are you seeing a new customer and never seeing them again? Are you reading the reviews on social media and ignoring what they say and making excuses? Are you not even aware that there's reviews on social media? So it's really interesting for me to get a bit of an honest baseline. And I'm not going to talk to you necessarily about how you do that, but I will tell you, if you don't know what your situation is, if you go, I'm not doing as well as I thought I was or I used to, and I just don't know why, that's your truth. I just don't know why. And that's your action item. If you go, it's not about me, it's about the customers. It's actually lots of different reasons that you think that things might be changing for you or have changed for you. Write down what your assumptions are. And here's my only piece of advice around that. Do not ask to ground truth what you think you know with people who know and love you. So if I say to my husband, does my bum look big in this? Everybody, my husband is going to answer, no. But the fact that I've asked means it probably does. And what I'm actually doing is asking the people that I want validation for a positive response. So the one thing that I definitely am going to ask you is, whatever you believe to be true about your business this year, test your baselines with someone who is not known to you. The second thing on your 10-point plan is about your brand. So lots of people talk about marketing. And again, Tracy Jones, I'm throwing to you, unmute yourself. What's the difference? What is a brand and what is a logo, Tracy?
So a brand is the whole business, like how it looks, how it feels, whereas a logo is just like a symbol as such that represents your business and is something that people will see that and think of your business.
So Tracy, if I said bargain galore, what does the brand stand for?
I don't know that one, sorry.
From the name?
Oh, but just from the name, cheap, and I just get cheap from that, and I guess a lot of things as well.
Thank you, Tracy. Katrina, if I said Maya?
Shopping.
And the brand? What is it? What do you think when you say it's more than just shopping? Anything else that it makes you think about?
I guess I don't know. I don't actually know. No, I guess shopping. I mean, clothes and things you can buy, and probably good quality.
Right. So it's variety. It's quality.
Yeah.
Christina, Woolworths. I can't. I'm just unmute.
Right, unmute. Always. Dependable, reliable.
Nice.
Yeah.
Throw you another one. Mitre 10.
Outdoor stuff, garden stuff. That's what I think.
Lee, unmute. Bunnings.
That's a big brother in that industry, isn't it? Like, that's huge. Like, yeah, it just feels powerful. It feels expansive because its influence is quite vast.
So we've got interesting responses from all of you because you're using not just what they sell or what they do. The most important thing I think I want you guys to think about in terms of your brand is not just how it looks, but how it makes you feel, how it makes your customers feel, and how it absolutely connects with them. I want you to write down in your second box, what is your brand? What did you want me to feel? I'm going to ask a few of you actually. So quickly, 2 seconds. What is my brand? Not what is my business name, but what is my brand? Jody, want to share yours? Off mute for me. Okay, I'm bouncing up to Suzanne. Anyone? Anne?
Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you. What's your brand?
Trusted and knowledgeable.
What do you do?
I'm a bass agent.
What colours do you use in your branding?
Blue and grey.
Awesome. And what font do you use?
What do you mean?
When you've got on your letterhead, or when you're sending out letters, or you're doing up a proposal, or you're doing a quote,
I'm
or
in a
what type of font?
franchise. I'm in a franchise, so we're governed by the franchisor. I'm a gyms. I'm a gyms. So I'm a gyms bookkeeper. So so it's all there. But
what do your customers expect you to look like? What do they expect you to wear? Are you going in your clown outfit? Are you wearing your thong?
I'm in uniform.
So you're in a uniform. So again, do you see, and everybody, that is an example where it's finance, it's a trusted, I need to have credibility. I don't want you to be in your thongs. I don't want you to be, I want you to be a uniform, disciplined, rigorous. That's the brand. That's what it is. That's how it makes me feel. And so I want to ask again to you all, just an interesting quick question, if it's okay. And I'll get you to mute, please. If I was to ask you what went wrong with The Block this year versus, this is the TV show, The Block, versus in previous years, has anybody got any comments around why that all went pear-shaped and this year? Any comments? Does anybody know about The Block and how it's gone pear-shaped? Anyone? Oh, no. Oh, my gosh. I'm going to tell you the story then. The Block is a TV show. It's a renovation show. Mums and dads come in and do a renovation. They get a budget and they spend, they sell whatever they sell at the end. They make as their profit. It's a reality TV show. What happened this year was an entire mismatch of the brand. And so viewers are dropping off like flies because they didn't use mum and dads. They started to use tradespeople. They didn't have a small house that you and I could relate to. They were multi-million-dollar homes, etc. They were going, we don't understand what's happened. And I go, what? You're off brand. You're delivering something that does not connect with your brand. So the question is that I want to ask you guys to have a bit of a think about is, what is your brand? If it's trusted, if it's reliability, if it's innovative, if it's fun, what does it need to look and feel like? What's your social media messaging? What is your imagery? Do all of those things come together? All right, third one is the money one. I gotta love the money. This is what typically happens when I say to people, so you're planning for next year, how's it looking, what are you thinking? They go, oh, I'm gonna increase my turnover next year from $1 to $2, from 1 million to 2 million, from 3 million to 5 million. And my immediate response is, oh, okay, that's great, but I don't really care, because your turnover, you can double your turnover, as you would well know, Anne, and actually go backwards. So for next year, for 2023, in your next box, your third box, can you please answer these following questions for me, for yourselves? And it is this: what's your turnover going to be next year? What's your target for turnover next year? Question number 2 is, do you know your gross profit margin now, and what will it be for next year? Question number 3 is, what's your net profit? What is it this year? As a percentage, it can be, isn't easier. And what do you want it to be next year? And then here's the 2 kickers. Right now, from what you know in 2022, what was your highest selling item, product or service? The second question is, what's your highest profit item, product or service? Smile at me if you actually know the answers to those questions. Lee, you rubbed your face. I love it. Take yourself off mute. It's a dead giveaway. Oh, yours.
You're sharp.
I knew, right? So were you able to answer any of those questions, any of the 5?
Yeah. That's but I'm a bit nervous about it. So yeah.
What makes you nervous? Because you're not sure if it's true?
Because it's new, because I'm just starting out. So it's
oh, what do you do, Lee?
It's called Games of the People. So we play, we're teaching and guiding young people to experience joy and understand their place in the world through Indigenous games of different cultures across the world.
Fantastic.
So yeah, just starting out. So just yeah.
So you're almost going, you're setting a benchmark. So have you started trading at all?
I've done a couple of taster days and I've got a contract going into next year. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. So no matter what happens, you still do answer these 5 questions for yourself, knowing that they're more predictions than they are what's your current status and then where do you want to be for next year. So definitely, no matter where you are on your trajectory, you should be able to answer them. And even if you go, well, this is my highest selling item, this is what I think it's going to be, but I know that's just to lure people in, and then this is my second actual service or product for where I'm actually going to make my profit. Okay, next one. Is all about energy. So for 2022, I want you just to reflect on, where did you invest your energy? And that doesn't necessarily mean your time either, guys. It means where in a 24-hour period, 7 days a week, was your energy. And I've put the number 1 up the very top, the personal happiness and well-being. So if you looked at that, what did you do for yourself? How much energy did you invest in your own happiness and your own well-being? And if that was at 9% or 2% or 5% or 0%, I want you now to write, what is it? What is your target or goal for next year? What about your relationships, your family, friends, And I put this in, guys, because if I just talk business, you would all do what you've done this year, which is invest the same amount of time that you have in your business. And if we're in November, if we're in December, we're probably very, very tired, which is a perfect time to take stock to go, righto, so where is your energy best invested next year? And your business, and also then into your customers. Write down what you think it is this year, and then quickly write down what you think it's going to be for next year. How many of you got staff? Katrina, do you have staff?
No, we're just 3 directors. So we no.
Nice. Assume that then I'm actually going to talk to this being about your team, then being your other directors. Lee, are you on your own at the minute then?
Yeah.
Anne, on your own? Who else have I got there? Amelia?
Amelia's my director.
Yeah, I'm actually with Katrina. We're directors.
Yeah. Oh, beautiful. And emotion, which is Katrina, or is it Katrina?
No, my name's Kirsty.
Oh, Kirsty. I'm going to write that down because I can't see the name didn't come up. Kirsty, staff?
No, just 2 directors.
And Kirsten? No staff. You're on mute, but no staff. Okay, so I'll quickly skip through this one, but I really want you to keep a huge thought around who is your team. Now, if you're a sole trader, you will still have a team. It might actually be your husband. It might be your accountant. It might be your best friend that you're going to. But ultimately, this is really about focusing. Where does your support come from? Where is it coming from this year? And where do you need support for next year? And more importantly, what this is absolutely about is does everybody know what they expect of each other? What do you need? And most importantly, what do they need? So for those of you who are in a partnership, a couple of directors, write the letter to each other that says, this is what is that I can offer you, and you're also seeking to be able to understand what it is that they need. Okay, that was a really big sigh. I mentioned Mitre 10 ages ago, or a whole 40 minutes ago, and it's really interesting because I had Mitre 10. We were trying to win them as a client when I had a marketing company. And it was a wee bit before this other entity was about to come on the market, Bunnings. And Mitre 10 is a franchise business. They had a Australia-wide meeting, and in that room sat about 135 franchise owners. Every single one of them, these are statements of facts, by the way, so there's no emotion to this. Every single one of them was a man. Every single one of them was over 50. Every single one of them was white. Every single one of them had been in the hardware game for a really long period of time. And I sat in the room and I said, I really, really want you to talk to me about who your customers are. And they started to describe them. Anybody want to tell me what you think they described them as? Amelia, any ideas?
Sorry, I'm muted. I don't know, but I'm going to guess maybe they describe them as either tradies or men coming in to get hardware
themselves.
Yeah.
100%. So whoever said, so that's exactly what they said. They're men, they're tradies, that's who our market is. And whoever just added in then they actually described themselves was correct. And so then I'm young, a girl, I was young and a girl, in marketing, credibility with them, 0. And I go, I think you might be wrong. Go, no, we're not. I go, I think you are. And I think not only do I think it so much so that I want you guys to for 1 month, write down every single customer that comes in, and I want you to break them up into whatever demographics it's going to suit you, but just describe them. Are they male? Are they female? Are they buying trade tools? Are they buying DIY tools? I want you to use a tool to be honest and to collect the data. If you are right, I don't deserve to be your marketing person. But if I'm right, I want this account. Of course, I won it. And I won it because there was a revolution happening. It was called the DIY market. Everybody who drives the decisions in the DIY market? Well, we do. Women. They were between 25 and 35. They're starting out. They're renovating their houses. This was, again, right before Bunnings. We were going, if a woman walks into Mitre 10, you guys treat us like we are stupid and annoyance, etc., etc. Their whole end-to-end process was entirely mismatched to who their customers actually were. And as a consequence, when we got a choice, we went to a shop where they gave us a friggin' trolley. I go to Bunnings and I get a trolley. There's aisles. I can put everything in there. They've given me a cafe, man, and they've got a kids' playground area. I go talk about understanding their target market. It wasn't about price. It was about absolutely understanding their market. So here's my question. Who are your customers? Who are they? What do they want? Not what do they buy? What do they want? Where are they coming from, folks? Why are they coming to you? Why are they purchasing what it is that you're selling? And I want to kind of know almost how often they need that thing. Because if you want more of them for next year, for 2023, which I do believe is going to be very, very bright. If you want to increase your business, you want to grow your market share, if you want to be more profitable, if you want to have good brand resonance, then this is the one thing that you absolutely need to know intimately. So if I sell shoes and I go, my customers are anyone who've got feet, I go, no, they're not. Because I wouldn't buy a pair of shoes for a wedding from the same store that sold sand shoes. But hey, I've got feet. So if we don't understand the nuances around what it is and who they are, why they're purchasing, when they're purchasing, then we can't capture more of them. I hope that makes sense. Right. Here's the next thing. Competition. Every single one of us has got competition. And then my question again is, how well do you know what your competition are doing? Now, I'm not afraid of my competition. Actually love them. Love, 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 love them. Always have, always will. Why? Because they make sure that I do what I do the best I possibly can. But they give me great ideas about how I can do stuff better. So I'm all for the biggest form of flattery, which is copying what someone else does better. So for me, the big thing around this is look for your competition with really happy eyes, with an open heart, with excitement in your step, not fear and trepidation. If you are afraid of your competitors, then go back to the first one, which is about truth. It means you already have got a truth radar that's worried about what you are doing and that you're not necessarily doing it in the best way possible. So don't, if you're afraid, just because you're being afraid, of go, oh, that's what Chardonnay's for, people. Have a glass and walk into your competitor. And I'm actually not even saying you have to mystery shop. There's nothing wrong in this world, in a collaborative environment, talking to competitors and saying, this is who I am. I just wanted to come in because I think you do a great job. I want to just have a bit of a chat to you. Nothing wrong with that at all. So competition is really, really healthy for you for 2023. It just may be the spark to be able to get some new excitement in your step, new ideas. So how well do I know my competition? What do I envy about what they're doing? What will I copy? And then here's the most important one. What are you going to do better? Mystery shopping, by the way, doesn't have to be face-to-face. I mean, go online, go start Googling them. If you think they're fantastic, then look at their reviews, like follow some of the threads about any customers and what it is that you can kind of find out about in the background. You don't necessarily have to walk in. However, anybody in hospitality, just take yourself on mute. Kirsten, in what?
Restaurants.
Awesome. What type of restaurant, lovely?
I've got had 5 Mexican restaurants.
When did you last go to a Mexican restaurant that you didn't own to eat?
All the time.
Do you? I love it. Perfect. And is that again for you to do a bit of an assessment about what else other people are, or do you just love Mexican food and is there every chance you get it, you eat it?
No, it's always good to to see what the competition do, see what you can improve.
And could you give me one thing that you, after having been to a Mexican restaurant, for example, that's an exact apple and apple, so a like for like, that you walked out and went, oh my God, I've got to do that? Anything come to mind?
Oh yeah, definitely. Much more. We're kind of very family-friendly Tex-Mex, and the last Mexican restaurant I went to actually was very high-end, and I was just like, that's that's what we started out as, but we were a bit ahead of Mexican food becoming the norm, and so we had to dumb it down a lot, and I think now it's like time to get off that
Nice. So you walked away going, maybe the timing is right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, perfect. I love it. Anybody else want to talk about anything they know about their competition? Katrina?
Oh, you put me on the spot. I can, we are a service delivery around wellbeing, and we have a very specific niche market. So with boarding schools that we do social emotional wellbeing for Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander students that go to boarding schools. So they go off country and go to boarding schools. There's a couple of different websites that I think do some wellbeing sort of stuff well, and we have a website. So I definitely think we can look at those websites and kind of see, and we sort of do have a bit of a look at that. But it's a kind of.
Who purchases? Who is the purchaser of your
school
service?
Well, twofold. Schools become our, we work and we co-facilitate and do workshops in schools, but we also apply for grants to get some grant money to work in communities, in remote communities, around developing some resources that will be useful for schools, if that makes sense. So
yeah, absolutely. So the competition might be, who are other providers, not necessarily of a like-for-like service, but look about who else would that person in the school be hearing from, where they would be going, we have to make a decision. Do we go with X, Y, or Z? In that decision-making mindset, who are they comparing? And again, that may be a fruit salad, not a bunch of apples. So it may not be the wellbeing competition. It may be it would be far broader than that. So perhaps just consider those others as inspiration for a bit of a mystery.
Can I add something there? Can I add something there?
Sure.
Sorry,
yeah, please, yeah.
Samantha.
Yeah.
Can I add something there? Yeah,
Please.
I guess, Katrina, the schools, like, as a former teacher and from a family full of teachers, they like to put things in boxes, and that's what I've found frustrating as well. So, but coming to that conclusion that that's what they do is, I guess, going back to the honesty baseline sort of thing. So, yeah, good luck.
Yeah, no, it is true. I'm a teacher as well from background, but we did actually talk with Reconciliation Australia today around how, because they are probably they're not a competitor, but around how we can align with some of the people that are doing work existingly in schools, so that it's not sort of seen as either or, but how it can kind of work better together.
And so what you're actually saying is what you're trying to understand, this is less about your competition, but maybe more about your customer. You're actually trying to understand their decision-making framework. And that's really, really important. Yeah. When I said before about the restaurant scenario, and it's comparing the competition from Mexican to Mexican. Well, it's actually not just Mexican to Mexican, right, folks? Because I've only got $100 a week, let's say, each week to eat out. And I go, where am I spending that money? Which restaurant am I going to? So I could think of it like that in one sliver. Now go a next layer. Actually, I've got $100. Do I go out or do I buy a new pair of shoes? Go to the next. So now I'm actually, the competition for my same $100 is not just food. It could actually be, I would suggest it might be food and going to a movies. Like there's so many competitions for our dollar and our spend and our energy and attention. So everybody be really aware, if you know your customer again and you're trying to sell to them, if it's a discretionary, then you are, if it's a discretionary spend, you are competing with other things that are in the discretionary spend line item as well. So it means it's, so for example, if I go, is it shoes? Is it food? Is it a new shirt? Is it whatever? Let's say I decide I've made the decision to spend my $100 on food, not those other two things. So already I'm a bit miffed, right? Now, because I can't have all three. So I go into the restaurant. What is my expectation, people? It is 3 times higher, because I want to feel so much better about that experience, because I'm a bit, smarting from the two things I've missed out on. So if I walk out of that restaurant, I've spent my $100 and I haven't had a fantastic experience, the level of, I'm going to say hurt, pain, suffering, review I might leave would be significantly higher. And that's, again, a bit of a changing demographic, a changing marketplace we've gotten there right now. That is happening out there in the wide world, when we've had huge amounts of spending and it's kind of pulling back. So I just am throwing that in because I just want you to think about your competition, the impact, what it means for you guys. All right, competition. So what's the opportunity then? This is the next one I really want to talk about. I suppose lots of people, traditionally people would say, what's the key market opportunity? What's going on in the marketplace? What's the threats? What is happening around you externally for you to actually identify what the opportunity is? But I want to be really, really much more simple than that. And I would ask for you, for 2022, what's the one truth that you kept thinking to yourself over and over and over again? If I just had some more time, I reckon I'd expand into another location. If I had some more time, I really reckon we would develop a fantastic corporate profile and we would have a video showing these workshops that we run, and we would upload those and I would send those out and people would be able to have a 5-minute free demonstration of that. If I had the money and the time, really think that I would totally rebrand this business. I reckon Mexican restaurant, there's an opportunity to really tackle a much higher end. How can I do that? So the question I want to ask you is, what's the opportunity for you? I'm not asking you to be super duper clever. I'm kind of going, you already know it, guys. You've kind of said it to yourself probably 62 times this whole year, quietly, loudly, to someone else in your sleep. But what's one thing for next year in 2023? What is one opportunity where you want to have the courage to explore? Anybody want to share one? Kirsty?
Yeah, just taking our course online.
Awesome. Hey, I think Tracy can give you the perfect person to be able to help you do that too. Amelia?
Well, one thing we're looking at doing is developing our community pages on our website next year. So that would probably be the next step.
Katrina?
I'm with Amelia, so very similar. Community pages, we want to get in there and actually be working in community, doing video-based resources, yeah. But I've got 3 other things too. It's just...
Oh, tell me what they are.
Oh, one's the community pages, one is a podcast series, one is a social emotional wellbeing conference, and one is having our website better strategically organized, because it's a bit not scabby, but it's very baseline, and we didn't have a big budget or anything like that. So yeah, we'd like to develop that better.
Nice. Okay, awesome. So there's some great opportunities and some ideas. Next one is productivity. Now, anybody bill by the hour? Kirsty, you do. Lee, did you just put your hand up? Yep. And you bill by the hour? You on retainer? You're still on mute, my lovely.
Most of my clients are fixed fee. So and I've got some clients hourly, but most of them are fixed fee. So I set up a scope and they're on a weekly, monthly or quarterly fee.
Perfect. I want you guys, does anybody track their time by hour, even by 15 minutes or by hour? Amelia, you do, you're nodding. How do you do it?
I just keep a spreadsheet of what I do with my time, because we're not really paying ourselves properly yet. So we're just tracking everything to make sure that, just so that we get an idea of what work we're doing with certain schools, what's admin work, what might be financial work, what might be, I don't know, website work, because we have lots of facets of what we do.
Yeah. So you've basically got categories. Am I doing some marketing stuff? Am I doing admin? Is this generating leads? Am I actually just sitting here crying in my coffee because I'm just so confused? Am I eating again because I'm so whatever?
Yeah, that sort of stuff.
So yeah, beautiful. So
I actually use an app called Clockify. So you can do which tracks my time. So I use that for my hourly clients, but I've also done it for my fixed fee clients. So tracking what I've done, how long I've done it. And the good thing I can do is I can go back periods and do a report on that client, what work I've done for them, or what. So if you want to know how often you're doing your webinars or what tracking, you can actually do a report and it'll tell you that week you did 3 hours or 4 hours or 5 minutes. So that's a way that's easy to then, like if you've got it in a spreadsheet or written down, you can't, it's harder to do reports off. With this Clockify, you can just go, I want to find out all this information. I want that client, that project. So,
and is the software free?
Yeah, well, for the one I'm on is the free one.
Nice.
There are you can actually use it to go into your software, your accounting software, and bill people on it.
Yeah,
I don't
nice.
use that facility. But
Sure,
yeah.
sure. Okay,
I know
can you
there's
pop that in the
pages.
chat for me, just the name of it, so other people can have a bit of a look at it? So if
Yeah.
that's really, really impressive. There are 11 ops on there. Have I not actually spoken to anybody yet? Have I? Suzanne, are you on?
Yes, I am. Yeah.
Oh, I haven't spoken to you yet, have I?
No, sorry, I ran a bit late. I was busy doing other stuff and realised it was 11:30.
That is a perfect segue. So do you track your time by hourly or half hourly about in a normal day and by activity?
I used to through another free app that I plugged into my extension of my web browser, but I found it was taking too much of my time to track that because I was all over the shop with stuff. But I've still getting in my streamlining of my processes, so it's getting much better. But yeah, Kirsty and I obviously we work together, and we kind of keep each other on track about what we're doing. So the business knows what's happening, but figures wise, no, not currently.
Perfect. So everybody, I again just remember the might attend scenario, and this is what it is that I want you guys to really seriously do. If you are already tracking your time, I definitely want you to use the data and do a bit of an analysis, righto. So what was the amount of time that I spent that was directly proportional to converting it into a dollar? Leads, marketing, the sales. What was non-income producing but keeps your doors open? Finances, invoicing. What's the administration stuff that actually sucks our time up but is not necessarily doesn't fall into either of those two categories? Emails. Oh, ping, someone's just sent me something on my Facebook, on my Instagram. Oh, someone's just like that, those distraction things. So I really want you, if you've got good data for 2022, look at it and set yourselves some targets for 2023. I need to reduce the amount of administration that I'm doing. I'm going to set a cap of 10% of my time will be on administration and 90% will be on insert whatever your focus is. But you definitely need to set yourself some targets around time. And if you want to win time back, folks, this is the best way that I know how to plan for that. If you are doing 10-hour days, I promise you can do the same amount of work in 8 hours that you were doing in 10 if you track your time, if you keep yourself honest, and if you set yourself some targets around that. Because in actual fact, what it enables you to do is use this word. No.
I think, like, as you're saying, for myself, because I do fixed fee, that part of my business is no time. Because most of my clients, about 90% of my clients are fixed fee. So basically on the 1st of the month, 1st of the quarter, 1st of the week, I invoice my clients the amount that they're going to be paid. Like my weekly clients, on Monday, an invoice gets produced, approved and sent to them. On the Wednesday, money comes out of their bank, and on Friday I'll receive it. So I have not done anything. It's just been set up the way I've set it up. So there's no time to do it.
The only thing for you, Anne, is I reckon is the one thing I would look, and you sound like you're all over it, but the one thing I would look at is if you've got a fixed fee client, the trouble with fixed fee clients, the beauty of fixed fee clients is what you just said. You invoice, the money comes in and it's good. The trouble, the risk with them is that if you run your numbers and you go, I'm actually only supposed to deliver 10 and I did 10 and a half. I'm supposed to deliver 10 and I delivered 12. So rarely do we go a 7 and 8 and bill for 10. So that may be your focus. If you don't know that, have a bit of a look at that one.
Yeah, I think also you got to, the way I scope my work is it's on a higher rate than if I'm doing an hourly rate.
Yeah, nice,
So
nice.
yeah, so it's like I might charge 110 in the scoping, because that will go those times when it's going to be over or under. Because I've had a client that was on $1,000 an hour with him because it took me 15 minutes to do his work.
Yes. Yeah, nice. Nice.
But the next month it might take me. It took me half an hour, so it's on $500 an hour.
Yeah.
So,
and I think again, the most important thing for everybody for that one, and we'll get on to the next one, is that you need to know where your time is going, and you need to value it, and you need for 2023 to set yourself some targets around where you're going to spend your time. Remember, these things are all going to connect up too in terms of your 10-point plan. So Anne, can I put you back on mute for me, please? The next one is give. This is the last one, and it probably shouldn't, but I want to ask you the question is not give to get, but where are you giving? Where are you contributing? Where is your business contributing? And I want to ask the question, is it environmental? Is it back to your community? Is it you're giving extra to your customers? Here's my VIP card. Is it to your staff? We have a monthly rewards program. The environment might be we actually, have banned single-use plastics in everything that we do. There's a million things that you can do. This doesn't have to be I donate money to a charity. That is not what it is that I'm talking about at all. And in actual fact, the really strategic thing for you guys to be looking about is what is your brand? Go back to the brand. What does it stand for? And in 2023, what are you giving back that does align to your brand, but you're not doing it so that you can use it as a marketing spin? You're actually doing it because it's the right thing to do. Because these are your values, and your customers will pick up on your values. And people do business with people they know, like, and trust. They will buy a substandard product or a substandard service or a more expensive service, but from someone they know, like, and trust. It is absolutely about your values, folks. So 2023 is an opportunity. If you're doing it, great, then go one step further. If you're already doing two things, next year could be to add one more thing on. So I'm not, again, talking about philanthropy in and of itself. It could be, that's it, we're just done. We're only buying food that's in 100 kilometres of where we are. We're going to count our food miles. We're actually only going to spend our money. We're not going to spend our money from suppliers that are beyond our local community. There's a million things, but have a bit of a think about what it is that you're going to give. So that's your 10-point plan. I want to quickly go to bringing it all together and go, so this is what I think that could particularly look like. And we've got 3 minutes to go. So I'm going to write down 10 sentences I'm going to go through with you, 10 sentences that would form the foundation of my own 10-point plan, having thought about those 10 core areas of focus. And before I go into them, because I'm going to talk about them really quickly, I would write these 10 sentences down. You've got your 10 boxes. I would write 10 sentences down. And then from there, I would literally go into my art calendar and I would start putting in a timeline. I said I'm going to do X. I would go straight into my calendar right now, today, and go, bing, that's what it is that I'm going to do. I'm going to start, I'm going to finish, I'm going to implement, I'm going to purchase, I'm going to talk to, whatever it is my verb. And before I show you again, just 10 simple sentences, I want to say this. For 2023, and I'm so proud of you all for going in the 1st of December. I'm going to hook in and have a bit of a listen, invest an hour around some business planning, because we're tired in November, December. And on the 1st of January, we somehow wake up after a year of exhaustion and we find the energy to do this crazy thing, like set a New Year's resolution. And if we set a New Year's resolution that's something like this, I'm going to lose some weight. You will. You'll meet it, because like I just gave up the extra chip. Yes, lost some weight in 1 hour of one of the days of one of the weeks of one of the months of that year. So this really, if the takeaway, if I'd said I got to lose 10 kilos before this wedding in March, well, that's a bit more pithy, a bit more meaningful, and that's where I want it. What I want you to be thinking about when you start writing what your 10 kind of lines or actions are. And so here are mine. About my truth, folks, I'm actually going to bring in an independent person. I'm going to talk to them about my assumptions, and I absolutely want to know, am I right or am I wrong? Am I Mitre 10 or am I Bunnings? The second thing I'm going to do is I'm absolutely going to refresh the imagery that's on my website and my social media. It's just not exciting. It's not happy. It's not productive. It's not, it doesn't represent me. It's too conservative. That's my brand. I'm absolutely going to look at trimming down my holding costs. They're 39% of my total turnover. And I need to absolutely increase my net profit by 3% next year. There's my financial sentence. Oh my God, how about that energy? Where am I going to, that's it. I'm going to exercise before work every single day. And I'm going to have 3 weeks holiday. And that's going in my plan, folks, because if it doesn't, it won't happen. There's my energy. In terms of the team, I think I'm going to stop just having weekly team meetings, and I'm actually going to document the decisions and follow up actions, because the team meetings make me feel like we all know what we've got to do. And yet every week, week in, week out, we end up talking about the same thing. So it's documenting decisions next year and following up those actions. I am going to look at this CRM, my customer relationship management system, next year in 2023. And I'm going to start, I'm not just going to ask them when's their birthday, are they male, are they female, and what's their postcard. I'm actually going to start to write down a bit more of their buying habits. They bought 2 of those this week. They're coming in week on week on week, and they're buying the same thing. What are they doing with all that rice? Because I want to know, not because I'm a busybody, but I want to get my CRM system. Because I need to understand my customers. So that's my task for getting to know my customers a bit better. The competitors, man, I'm going to do mystery shop 3, and I'm going to get 6 new ideas that I'm going to implement. I've been talking about this for such a long time, but I'm going to add this new service. I'm going to trial it. And I'm going to trial it for absolutely 6 months. I'm not going to trial it for a month and then do no work around it and then say it didn't work and I knew. I'm going to trial it for 6 months. I'm going to put a lot of effort and energy and resources into it, and I'm going to see what its value is in the next 6 months. Skip that next one because it's a double up. I'm going to track my time for 1 entire month. I'm going to do it in 15-minute increments. I'm going to do it between the hours I turn on my computer and the time I turn off my computer every single day. And then I'm going to set some benchmarks about my time for next year based on what that means. And the last one for me is about what it is that I'm going to give. I'm done in this takeaway shop using plastic everythings. Straws gone. Plastic cutlery, gone. Soy sauce in a plastic spot, gone. I'm going to absolutely replace those things next year, come hell or high water, with new renewable items, and I think bamboo. The end, folks. There's an example of how you can have a 10-point plan by the end of today. You've got some questions, you've answered them, you've got some tasks to do. Have a bit of a review of them, work out what your actions are going to be from anything that you've identified today, put them straight into your calendar, and you have got yourself a really good foundation for 2023. It's 12:03, we're wrapping up, but I'm staying on if anybody wants to ask me individual questions. I think, Tracy, we can hang around for the next 15 or 20 minutes. I hope that's been of some help to one or all of you. It's about 2023 is as good as you guys want it to be. And if you're coming to a planning workshop, then it's going to be fantastic. I wish you all the best. Anybody want to stay and ask some questions?
So Amelia needed to leave, but she said, thank you. There were some great ideas. Christina's saying, thank you. Folks, if there are any questions, Sam, maybe just switch your share off. Remember, there will be a recording coming out. Sam's going to share the slides with me, so the recording will have a copy of the slide deck and the recording.
And good luck for 2023. Tracy, thanks for letting me be here today.
Thank you, Sam.
Thank you very
I think
much.
everybody's pretty stoked that